Another week, boys, and another TWAB. This week at Bungie, we're sharing our thoughts on security concerns and challenging Guardians to put their best dressed foot forward by getting those kilts ready for the Bungie Foundation. Some third-party peripherals are a godsend. Others can have unintended consequences. With the topic of certain third-party usage becoming more and more frequent, our security team is here to answer some common questions we get concerning how these interact with Destiny 2. But before we get into that, here's a brief summary of what you may have missed and what we're talking about this week. Now, in case you missed last week's TWAB's Wisdom, we reflected on Lightfall. We prepped for Grandmaster Nightfalls. We shared which weapons are leaving at the end of Season 20 and which are on the way for Season 21. We got a cutscene happy and Prime Game & Rewards recap. As for what we'll be talking about this week, specific third-party peripheral usage. Destiny would like to commend you. Reminder about Trials Labs. Bungie Foundation is getting Kilts happy. An update to our known issues list. And weekly hashtag Destiny 2 Movie of the Week. And hashtag Destiny 2 AOTW picks. So Art of the Week. All caught up? Dope. Let's jump right in, shall we? Bungie stands on third-party peripherals entering their villain arc. Interesting. What is this about? Our community has grown increasingly frustrated by a form of cheating that uses third-party peripherals with the intent to manipulate the game client. These devices are plugged into a computer or console where they can, for example, execute simple scripts or trick the game into giving you extra aim assist. You'll note that we aren't calling out the services by name. The primary reason for that is we simply don't want to offer a bigger spotlight than necessary. Instead, our focus is on what the impact of using tools like this has on the PvP environment. To this end, Bungie has adopted the following policy in any form of external aids. Bungie embraces the use of external accessibility aid that enables an experience the game designers intended, but will take action, including bans on people who abuse these tools specifically to gain an advantage over other players. So, quote, external accessibility aids are any device or input that augment the player's ability to control the game beyond what the game itself normally provides. This includes, but is not limited to, programmable controllers, keyboards and mouse adapters, advanced macros, or automation via artificial intelligence. Wait, what? That's a thing now? This does not include features that Bungie provides. For more information on how Bungie supports accessibility, check out our goals outlined by Accessibility at Bungie right here. Now, quote, experience the game designers intended means that content meant to be difficult or prestige is designed like that for a reason. We do not intend for the difficulty to be automated away via software or hardware. Therefore, simply using an accessibility aid to play Destiny 2 where a player cannot play otherwise would not be a violation of this policy. Using these tools to mitigate challenges all players face, such as reducing recoil or increasing aim assist, would be a violation. You're damn right. Now, number 3. Quote, gain an advantage means used for the purpose directly or indirectly of achieving victory. For example, some players that abuse these tools rise in PvP ranks at a rate far beyond what is expected for a player improving through typical play. Because the benefits of cheating in PvE can affect things like World's First Race or even spill over into PvP, we will be evaluating all gameplay for violations. We'll be monitoring for violations of the policy and issuing warnings, restrictions, and or bans appropriately. This has been a matter of extended conversations both internally and in the community, and we want to strike the right balance between Bungie's goal of simultaneously enabling everyone to enjoy our games and protecting our community. All right, so if you're wondering what they're talking about, obviously they're talking about Xim and Cronus users. Now, here's the thing. Think about, we did an entire video on this. We even spoke with people who have actual disabilities, even though a lot of people are hiding behind the umbrella of accessibility, and that's why they use Xim, and that's why they use Cronus or whatever else. Keep in mind, everything from their marketing to what's on their website, it is not being pitched as such. It's not an accessibility feature. It is meant to give you an advantage. Things like aim assist for mouse and keyboard users, execution files in these macros. And obviously, this includes people that are taking advantage of macros here on PC. But I would rather, if that means, hitting everybody, then you hit everybody. Like, that needs to be something that alongside with Xim and Cronus that should not be used at all. And I hope that Bungie actually issues bans on this. It seems like they're trying to walk this line, and I wonder what they're going to be using to actually pick up on this. What are y'all's thoughts? Big progress? Good. Love it. I just hope the bans are actually going to be going out. You know what I mean? That's the thing. This needs to be a bannable thing. You see too many other games doing it. It gives you a clear advantage. It needs to happen. This is live now. Yeah. I mean, it's live now. But I mean, like, bans, I don't even think Bungie needs to do a warning face. I think that if you're using a Xim, you're using a Cronus, you know exactly what you're using it for. I don't care what you say. You know exactly what you're using it for. I do know when we did the breakdown a week ago, going over like what Call of Duty has done here recently, like Activision has done, and what Ubisoft has done, there is a way in which these developers are able to pick up when someone is using a Xim or a Cronus, because those companies have already implemented checks on people that use Xim or Cronus. Bans. I think Rainbow Six Siege is a little different, where they increase the input lag significantly, but I think they also are starting to do bans as well. But there needs to be bans. There needs to be bans. And not only bans, honestly, like, man, dude, like, there are often times that I play someone and I'm like questioning. I'm like, man, is this guy using a Xim? You know what I mean? This guy is sus. I wish there was a way to, like, if you've been hit by a ban, I wish you had to wear that as a badge. I wish you had to wear literally almost like a little mark on an emblem that's like, you've been banned for using cheats in the game or something along those lines. At the same time, some folks might even like wear it as like a badge of honor. All right. Let's move on. This is a good change. Fantastic change. I'm so happy this is finally happening. But Bungie, you need to be aggressive about this. Walk, fashion, baby. Here at Bungie, we love ourselves a good fashion show. After all, you can't fight crime if you ain't cute. Am I right or am I right? Here to talk about how fashion has taken over our commendations is our player identity team. So let's talk drip. Player identity team, hi Guardians. Back when we were first developing commendations, we had a sneaky suspicion that a fashion-focused commendation would be highly desired. As we continued into the long-form playtesting, the need became even more obvious. But by then, we were past the point of adding anything new to Season 20 and could only tweak and tune what we already had. So, when we started on Season 21, it was one of the first things we've worked on. All right, so this is the commendation for Best Drip. But once Lightfall launched, we saw the feedback over and over again. I just want a best dressed combination, or I'm just giving the combinations to the teammates with the best outfits, and on and on. So because we love our fashion community so much, we dug in and moved it up to the Season 20 mid-season patch. Now, best dress isn't going to have a large combination score, but fashion is never about getting the highest score, just the most accolades. Best dress combinations also are restricted to what we call low trust activities, match-made activities that don't rely on significant communication or team play, not raids and dungeons, not trials of Osiris. And if you think your clanmate is the best dress, you can just tell them. This isn't a high school award. Best dress is about giving a stranger a compliment. You know what's going to be funny is, I guarantee it won't be the person that's actually legitimately best dressed that will get best dress. It's going to be the person that is multicolored with shoulders the size of their entire body. The most hideous characters are going to get best dressed. You know it to be true. I guarantee you. If I'm running match-made activities and your guardian is the most hideous, I will most likely give you best dress. I'm just saying, that's just how things go, right? Where's the throwing commendation? That we need. We need a throwing commendation for sure. And I don't, maybe even a title associated with it. Because, man, do we have some throwers. Now, to the labs, the trial labs. Just as a reminder, we will have 2 more trial labs on week 8 and 11 of the season. In both, we'll be testing the new matchmaking parameters to gather analytics and verify they work as intended on a large scale. For a refresher on how the new matchmaking works from the dev team, we will now have 2 always active soft pools. Soft meaning that matchmaking initially prefers not to blend the pools, but will, if necessary, to find a good game quickly. So the distinction is not as dramatic as the one between flawless and non-flawless in the current system. Now, challenge pool. This is where most players who currently play trials on a week-to-week basis and who want to go flawless will play. It represents an experience more like the original iteration of Trials in Destiny 1, without the focus on making games more difficult as the card progresses or after you have been flawless. Now, this pool matches based solely on connection. There's no matchmaking based on tickets, wins on a ticket, wins weekly wins, or skill. Players who have any card with no losses, including a card after reset, or those playing with someone in the fire team that has a card with no losses, will be placed in this pool. Now, practice pool. This pool is targeted at newer, less experienced players who are not yet ready to give going flawless a shot, and represents a place for them to dip their toes into trials without being thrown straight into the deep end. This pool matches based on connection and weekly performance. How well you have done in trials this week resets every week. Only players with a flawed card or those on their first game of the week can play in this pool. Everyone in your fire team must have a flawed card or be on the first game of the week. Now, this pool has stomp protection. If you're consistently struggling, it will reduce your weekly performance rating to give you slightly easier matches until you recover. Hence the practice pool. Farming protection. If the system detects that you or a fire team member are likely attempted to farm the practice pool, it will slow down your matchmaking times initially, and if you continue, it will lock you into the challenger pool for the remainder of the weekend, regardless of your card state. That's fantastic. Obviously, like, this could keep you from, at least initially, or keep you still farming on some folks. But the fact that the moment it picks up on that, and then throws you into the challenger pool for the rest of the weekend. Now, here's the thing. It sounds good in theory, but what if you are actually in the practice pool practicing and you just ball out for 2 games straight? Then all of a sudden, Bungie's like, oh man, he's popping off too hard. Challenger pool it is. And then you're just stuck in there when you want to be in the practice pool. Now, as a reminder, the updates to the Passage of Wealth and Mercy and the changes to the Gilded Triumph, Flawless Triumph requirements will not be live on these weekends. Those will come in Season 21 alongside the new emblem and introductory quests. We'll be playing alongside you all in both pools and monitoring feedback on the new matchmaking system over the course of these laps. Later in Season 20, we'll have a more in-depth discussion about the changes that are coming to trials in Season 21. All right, so again, Week 8, Week 11, guys. This is going to be what Bungie is hoping to do for all of trials. We're going to give this a go. This is a trial period to see how these pools work out. Challenger pool, practice pool, flawless pool being removed, all that good stuff. And then the future is when we're going to get the rollout of things like, Passage of Mercy granting you 2 free losses versus 1. So we'll see how this plays out, man. I mean, it sounds fantastic. I like it. I love when connections prioritize. And the fact that you're going to get 2 losses forgiven, pretty good. Pretty good. All right, so it would be next week. That makes sense because next week we're getting the mid-season patch. All right. Got some time to Kilts? Asking for Bungie Foundation. The 12th annual Kilts for Kids is back in action, full of plaid and prizes to help raise critical funds for Seattle Ronald McDonald's house. Joining the familiar faces of Christine, Mark, and Forrest is our new Kilted comrade, Aaron Rossler. Thank you to all who have helped to keep this tradition going for so many years. To date, the Bungie community has helped fund over 26,000 nights for families from all over the world to stay free of charge at RMHC Seattle while they receive medical treatments at Seattle's Children's Hospital. That's astonishing. Look at the Kilts, guys. Look at that. Phenomenal. I need a Kilt in my life. Help us achieve $77,777 goal by heading to RMHC donation page and casting your vote for Team Bungie. Each vote is worth $10, and every donation of $30 will pay for a family to stay at RMHC Seattle for 1 night. In addition to helping kids and families face illness, check out these incentives. $50 donation, you receive the Knees Out emblem. Oh! All right. 1 emblem code will be sent to each unique $50 donor via email after the event ends, expected in your inbox before Friday, April the 28th. Now, for Knees Out emblem, for the $100 prize and above, you will receive a postcard, a digital sign by our Kilts for Kids team, and that will be mailed to you. $250 all prizes above, plus a digital copy of a new and unique piece of artwork made by Mark Flegg himself. $500 all prizes above, plus a physical print of Mark's exclusive art shipped to you. Rewards will not be automatically redeemed, as we must receive donor data from RMHC before reward distribution. Thank you for bringing hope, smiles, and comfort to kids in need by participating in this fun annual event. We can't wait to share with all of you the impact of your support. I don't know, man. It's not even just the Kilts, man. It's the socks, right? The socks, dude. And the socks into the shoes. Good looking legs, fellas. Good looking legs. All right. Outside of that, guys, update 7.0.5 next Tuesday, April the 18th. Destiny 2 update 7.0.5 will be released. This will be the mid-season update, guys. if I'm getting this right. Mid-season, yeah. Mid-season update. 8 a.m. maintenance is scheduled to begin. 8:45 Destiny 2 will be brought offline. 10 a.m. Destiny 2 will be brought back online. And then maintenance is scheduled to complete by 11 a.m. All right. So, but at 10 a.m. it'll be playable. So we'll actually be able to play with everything. Now, Guardian rank objectives. We made scoring updates to the following Guardian rank objectives. Legend score, 115,000 was 130k. Nightfall, 180,000 was 200k. And then scoring Grandmaster, 210,000 was 230k. Additionally, we've increased the Lake of Shadow score multiplier to 1.0 times. Okay. All right. Known issues. Weekly red border weapon focusing may not count progress for the Defiant focusing triumph. If players wipe in the boss encounter of Lake of Shadow Nightfall, already defeated champions may respawn in previous zones, resulting in inaccurate scores and completion rewards. But obviously, you definitely wouldn't be platinum there. And then Soraya Hawthorne may continue to reference visiting Amanda and voice lines. Ooh. Nobody told her. Yeah. Somebody ought to let her know, right? All right. As a final note, that's a wrap. Another TWAB in the books and another week in Destiny 2, getting our swing on and ignoring those that may or may not swing off of a cliff edges despite numerous warnings from surrounding fire teams. Totally not a self-dock, because that would be silly. Anyway, just your usual reminder to make sure you go out into the road leading with your kindest foot forward, practicing that self-care and drinking some delicious H2O. We'll catch you next time, friends. I should go. Love, Hippie. All right. Guys, that is your TWAB live cut of that. Luke, launch it!
Slap that like button like your mama told you right.